Hello and welcome to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at the fabulous Arizona Center
for another round of, we got some interviews coming up.
We sure do. We have Nicole here, who is an entrepreneurship coach. She actually kind of comes about it two prongs.
Right.
The personal development and then kind of the business systems and growth. So they both sort of codepend on each other, and she does a lot of work with her clients on that. Then we've also got Dwayne here, who has been with Childsplay for 35 years. Yeah.
I mean, and they've done some amazing productions. I mean, he said next year's their 50th year.
Next year's their 50th year.
Wow.
Yeah. And Dwayne is actually retiring after this year, so This will be his last season with Childsplay. So we're here just chatting with him about his time there and what he's got coming up next. So
yeah, I mean, there's
right
some cool stuff, and so you'll definitely want to stick around and check it out. Good morning. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley, and we're at the fabulous Arizona Center. And yeah, it's just a great day. We're in orange, matching our Halloween decorations, getting in the fall spirit.
Indeed. I mean, we've got lots of glitter. So if anyone needs glitter, you can come in and join us on the 13th.
That's right. Yeah, we're doing our open house and some studio tours on the 13th. So please come celebrate and party with us. It's going to be a great time. We'll be celebrating Marshall's birthday.
Yep.
Do we get to know how old you are?
We'll just say 25
That
plus.
top secret? Okay.
Yeah. You know, I'll tell people that night, but I'm not going to hey, by the way. Well, it's so funny because the folks at V Magazine, they're always like, oh, we always forget how old you are. So
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, my dad just turned 85 a few weeks ago. He is still 17.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, that's where you get it from, huh?
Exactly.
I know. You know what? I always forget that Pat's 10 years older than me. I never remember that we have an age gap.
Right.
I don't know. But I don't know if that says because I act like an old person or because
he looks like a child.
It's fine.
You know, who knows?
But speaking of fall, I am guilty of this. So do as I say, not as I do. I did go to Starbucks to get a pumpkin spice latte the first day that the fall menu dropped. I forgot, how disgusting I think pumpkin spice lattes are. We'll not be doing that again.
I've never had one, have no interest in them.
Well, my point I was going to make is there are actually a ton of local coffee shops that are also doing fall menus and have fall-themed, pumpkin-themed drinks and stuff. So go support a local coffee shop if you're going to.
And they may not also be as sugar-laden. There may actually be more flavor.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't enjoy. I like pumpkin bread. I really enjoy a good pumpkin, loaf of pumpkin bread. But the pumpkin spice latte,
I've never had one.
You're not missing anything.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I don't feel like I am.
I feel like I do this every year. Like every holiday, I'm like, I want to get a pumpkin spice latte, and then at Christmas, I'm like, I should try a gingerbread latte, and then I do it, and I'm like,
oh, I think I had a sip of one of those.
Of mine?
No, I don't think it was yours. Yes, when you. It's like, hey, Melissa, what's over there? Wow, that's really bad. Okay, so. But yeah, I would prefer more flavor than more sugar. So.
It's something. I don't know. But my point was support local if you want to enjoy a fall menu.
Exactly. And maybe not so, there's all kinds of other fall flavors you could enjoy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there are. So, but we hope that you'll get in the holiday spirit because I'm big on holidays and I love decorating. I love celebrating.
Who would have thought?
So I'm just going to throw this out right now. If you have, because we've got enough time still, if you have stuff that you want to, if you're a crafter and you have a cool Halloween craft, if you've got a Halloween baking thing that you think is neat, one, we'd love to see it, but two, we'd also love to have you on the show. So please hit us up, let us know.
And if it's edible.
Even better.
Yeah.
We've had no food guests.
We
in
haven't
our
had
new
any
studio.
food in this new studio.
We need, and
I know. It's like we need to break
Change
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute, that's a bad street.
if you want to prove me wrong about pumpkin spice lattes being good, and you're a local coffee shop and want to give it a go, I'm down for that. But hit us up at On the Morning Show on Instagram, or you can email us at hello@onthemorningshow.com. So we hope to hear from you. But for now, you can stick around for Nicole, who's going to talk about balance and structure and what that means on a personal level, because it's not the same for everybody.
Right.
And then we've also got Dwayne from Childsplay Theater, who is here to talk to us about his legacy with Childsplay and his retirement plans. So keep it right here and enjoy these amazing interviews with our really incredible guests.
And welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
And we are here with someone who I think can probably help us both. If I'm being honest.
that first thing that came across in the email, it's like, big thinkers burn out without structure.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, is that your worst nightmare, talking about structure?
Oh yeah, structure. What is that?
Okay, well, let's ask her. Okay.
So, yeah.
So we've got Nicole Burbank here. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I am so good.
So you are an entrepreneurial coach.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what that means exactly and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually am a people and business growth expert, is like the easiest way to explain it. I have two pathways that I take you through. First is personal mastery. So these are for people like high achievers, entrepreneurs, people that want to level the F up, right? Yeah. They want to get to the next level. And then I help people on the business side. I come in and just build the structure, because entrepreneurs generally are very innovative and they have these amazing ideas and they're creative and spontaneous, but they're not like nerdy analytical beings like me who like to sit and build things up, right?
Yeah.
And so essentially I go in and I look at things operationally, marketing, from a marketing standpoint and from a sales, and then build the structure to support the scalability of the business.
Yeah. So like my brain went into a couple of different directions. So I literally just talked on Wednesday with my therapist about how I went on this retreat and I had some serious self-talk and realized all these ways I wanted to level up for the show, for myself, in all these different ways. And so then I created this pretty rigid, like, okay, on Mondays I'm gonna do this, and on Tuesdays I'm gonna do this. And Nicole, I did it for 23 days, and then I was like,
well, you know,
I
give yourself a round of applause for at least continuing that. I'm like,
but I was talking to her about how, like, I think what I'm struggling with, right, is I am very creative. My life is different every day, you know, depending on what we're doing, what we've got going on. And my energies are just kind of not consistent, even on a daily basis. But, like, I know that you need structure to be successful.
Yes, but you need your type of structure. Okay. So like me, right? I'm super rigid. So structure like just comes naturally to me. But someone who's creative and more of a free spirit, they need to be in alignment with their type of structure. And the biggest thing that we miss is that in society, we're told it's this way or that way. There's no in between. And I'm like, no, there's whatever you want it to be. Thank you, right? You just create it. So with someone like you, I would sit down and say, okay, well, tell me what your goals are, right? From a personal perspective, from a business perspective, and let's build the foundation to support what you want to be. So a question I ask people is, if time and money didn't exist, what would you do? That almost always tells me their life. Like me, a yacht on Capri. Like that's the dream, okay? Like I'm the hardest working lazy person you will ever meet. I just want to sit on a beautiful yacht and do nothing, right? So I need to build my business to get me to that level. What does that look like? And that's what I do. I build the systems to get you to wherever you want to be.
Yeah. I think it's cool that you bring that up, because one of the things that I think other entrepreneurs struggle with, right, is a lot of times you start a business to have flexibility or time and kind of do things on your own terms because you recognize in yourself, oh, I want to prioritize family, or I want to prioritize, you know, this part of my life. And then you just get overrun with like all the stuff that it actually takes to run a business. Yeah. And so I'm curious kind of when do people know to bring you in? Because I think what I see a lot of is entrepreneurs who wear all the hats and maybe have outsourced a couple things, but really are still touching everything on a daily basis. Like, how do you know that it's time to think about, you know, strategy and kind of systems and kind of taking some of that responsibility off of your shoulders to, I don't know, focus on actually what is going to move me forward or them forward and what their goals are?
Yeah, absolutely. So the hard part is that most of the time people come to me at like that 5-year mark. So that's amazing that they've been in business that long. Most businesses don't succeed past that 5-year mark. So we're like, yes, let's go. There's roots there, right? But the problem is you've built it 5 years the wrong way, which is not to their fault. Like, you don't know how to build a business. And if you're not an operator, like, not everyone's brain works like systems like mine does. And that's a benefit for what I do in my career, but is also really annoying to most people because I have to have a plan. I'm very rigid. I'm very short. Like, everything's like systematic, right? So there's things that they have to realize, that there are skill sets for an entrepreneur that I will never have. I'll never be the Steve Jobs. I'll never think of the iPhone. I'm not creative in that way, but I'll build the systems to create the iPhone, right? Yeah. And so entrepreneurs really should start from the get-go. If they build their companies correctly, I have a few clients that just invested. They were like, I am investing in you helping me build it. And they are passing people at the 5-year mark because the systems are in place and they're not having to work and be that hamster on the wheel, right? Yeah. They're actually working less because I'm the one doing most of the back end work. Yeah. And so realistically, it should be as soon as possible, because if the foundation isn't strong, just like in a marriage, it's going to crack and it's going to separate. Yeah. So we have to build it correctly if you're trying to scale.
What happens when you meet somebody and maybe they're in or right at the point of burnout? Like, is that a usually a salvageable situation? And if so, kind of how do you walk somebody through that process?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is. And what happens with burnout is we'll burn out, then we go to an extreme, get back to normal, then we'll get motivated, hustle, grind, right? And then burn out again. And so what I do as a systems person is I look for the patterns that you're doing throughout your life. So on the personal mastery side, I know more about clients than probably their spouses do. It's very vulnerable. It's very in-depth. I'm understanding how your brain works, just like I look at a business, I look at a person kind of similarly. And so we're looking for, okay, well, if you keep doing this, X, Y, and Z, if you keep running your business this way, that's not in alignment with what you are, you then always run into this burnout. I have a client right now, he's in one of these loops and he knows he is, and we've been working through it, but his thing is he gets really excited, he commits, right? He's like, all right, I'm gonna get more vulnerable, I'm gonna do all the things, and then he like gets scared and goes straight into just a workhorse method and maybe misses appointments or drops off a little bit and all these things, right? And so today we were talking about that. I was like, hey, we're in this loop. How do you feel? What do you want to do different? It's your, so it's like really taking them through their own patterns and being so self-aware of what's going on day in and day out in yourself or within the business.
I was just going to say, that sounds actually pretty challenging in the sense that, and I'm generalizing here, obviously, but a lot of people that are hustling don't take the time to do kind of that inner work and be self-aware. And so I can imagine that there's some friction that comes up when maybe they're first kind of understanding why they're operating the way that they're operating. And that sounds like a hard part of your job.
Yeah, it's why I blended the two, right? Because most of the people that I was working with, and I didn't even know when I first started more of the consulting and fractional work, I was just going to doctors because I knew doctors were bad at business. And I was like, oh, I'll just build their businesses, right? And then I'm like, life coaching them. And I'm just like, oh, this is so interesting. And so I started to tie the nuances together. And I was like, oh, no, these are like two interdependent things I have to help people through, right? Yeah. And so obviously there's pathways they could work with me on either or both. But yeah, it is challenging. The thing about me is I'm very direct. So I always tell people, I get paid to push. You're not gonna like me because I'm gonna show you the mirror. Yeah. I'm gonna call you out on the stuff. So if you're not ready for that, then I'm not your person, 100, right? But if you're ready, like this gentleman is, he knows, and he's like, all right, yeah. And sometimes he's like, yeah, I hear you, and I'm still gonna do the stupid thing. And then 2 weeks later, he hits a wall. But it's faster. So every time it's faster because we're reprogramming the neuroplasticity and the neural pathways within the brain. And over time, he'll eventually create a whole new neural pathway in his brain, right?
Yeah.
And so I always say there's no pace. I've made a million mistakes. I've made the same mistakes over and over and over again, right? I had to learn. Sometimes I had to hit the wall a few times before I was like, ooh, that really hurts. I'm going to stop and maybe move and redirect myself this way.
Yeah. So I'm curious, for people that are maybe a little bit more literal, what does working with you look like? I mean, is it like weekly sessions, or you like have a camera in their office and you're like watching them like Big Brother? Like,
yes,
what is
wheels are turning,
right? You're welcome. No, but like what does that actually look like to work with you on something like this? Yeah.
So on the personal mastery side, it's a long-term mentorship because I am reprogramming, right? This is decades of ingrained societal programming, dynamics that you live through, maybe trauma, like, and I don't deal with trauma personally. I don't work with people through trauma, but like all that stuff adds up to who you are. So on the personal mastery side, it is a long-term mentorship. The idea is to see me weekly, but it's at their dispense. They have access to me 24/7. So if he calls me at 3 a.m. and I'm awake, he gets to talk to me.
Yeah.
They text me, they voice note me. I am their person to help them walk through it, because my goal is to teach them that when they're in it is when we want to actually reflect as much as we can. So they'll send me a voice note and they'll be like, I just went to this meeting, had this happen, da 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 da, and then I voice note back. They listen to it when they can. And so it's very, very much a hands-on approach when you work directly with me. On the business side, it's more fractional. So I'm coming in and meeting with you maybe bi-weekly, and we're looking at it very high level, right? That 10,000 viewpoint, and we're looking at anything from hiring, cultural shifts, marketing, copy, all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of making it more efficient in the areas that they maybe lacked.
Yeah. How did you get into doing this?
On accident, but I think so. I was in 5th grade, I saw a problem. Kids didn't want the snacks in the vending machines, and I grew up in Hawaii, and I was like, I'm gonna make mochi. And I started selling it, and then I fell in love with the fact that I can make money, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing, you know? And so I've always been in entrepreneurship, right? I've always been doing that. And so I fell into the consulting on accident. Like I said, I was like, doctors really suck at business.
Yeah.
Like, I really love business, and I loved functional medicine and holistic medicine. And so I partnered. We built a stem cell clinic and 3 chiropractic clinics. And then I realized I want to impact people on a bigger scale. Like, this is great, but like I want to like largely change the direction of in which people think that they have to go to a 9 to 5,
right,
or that they have to work 40 hours. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you can be whatever it is your heart wants you to be. So I'm on this big mission to hopefully change the world and impact people to just see that they get to be whatever special, unique thing God made them.
Yeah, I love that. I'm curious if for somebody that, I'm sure you have multiple people that have access to you 24/7. How do you set boundaries? Like, how do you live the life that you want to live and be lazy on your yacht in Capri?
Absolutely, 100%, right? It's discipline, right? It's looking and saying, hey, my cup's not full right now, so I can't really help someone else. I've got to put my oxygen mask on for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad and lucky that I am so rigid, because I'm very structured. So I know what I need personally to be able to give at the level I want to give. And I don't know, like, you see some of these people, like, I don't know if you know David Goggins, but he's like we're just addicted to the thing that's in our heart that God placed there, so much so that I don't even know how sometimes I have the bandwidth, but I just take care of myself and I put me first. I'm very selfish in that way, but it allows me more opportunities to actually be there for people. And what's interesting is, as for the personal mastery side, those clients, they end up not needing me as much because they're getting to learn how to work through it themselves too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll sometimes then wait till our meeting and then be like, hey, this happened and this is how I did it. And I'm like, let's go. Okay, like, it's great.
I love that. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share about kind of the magic that you create and what you do working with people?
Yeah, I mean, other than it's so much fun and I love helping businesses and people just truly grow, that's it. Like, that's just my jam.
That's amazing. And I would love for you to talk right into camera.
Yeah.
Tell folks where they can follow you, learn more about you, and hopefully work with you, because I definitely know quite a few people hint, hint, you know who you are, that would benefit from working with a coach like you.
Thank you. Yeah, so you can check me out. My website is NicoleMBurbank.com, or on pretty much any social media, Nicole.Burbank. Would love to follow. If you follow me, please send me a message. Let me know. I love to follow people back. I love to stay in touch. Like, community is everything to me, and building this big dream for everyone is everything to me. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole. This has been really, really fascinating. I think you're taking such a cool, holistic approach to this type of coaching that I don't see very often. So kudos to you for that. That's incredible. We hope that you'll keep it right here. We've got lots more good stuff coming to the morning show.
Well, welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're here at
the fabulous Arizona Center.
And Marshall, I am so excited to chat with our guest today.
I know. I mean, we have a friend joining us and a friend joining us.
We always love it when we have friends joining us.
Indeed.
But this guy right here who's our guest is actually a little bit of a legend. This is Dwayne Hartford. Hi.
Hello.
So you've been with Childsplay 35 years.
This is my 35th year, yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So, and I heard a little rumor that you're retiring.
I am, next summer. So this is my last season. I've been with the company. I started as an actor and then got into directing and playwriting and over the years. And then 10 years ago, when our founder, David Saar, retired, I applied and the board hired me as artistic director. So this is my 10th season as artistic director. And
my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about your time at Childsplay. What's been kind of some of the most significant things that have happened for you during your tenure there?
Well, so much. Probably what the biggest thing that happened early on and what led me to stay at Childsplay and to stay in the field of theater for young audiences is I had the great fortune of being in the original production of a show called The Yellow Boat, written by David Saar. And it was a story about a young boy, true story, David's son, who at the age of 8 died from complications from AIDS. He was a pediatric hemophilia patient, and he contracted AIDS through a blood transfusion. And it's this beautiful story about a young artist and about how Benjamin loved to draw, and he kind of, through his art, was able to make sense of everything happening to him. So it was just a play that changed my field, changed theater for young audiences across the country and the world. The play's been produced all over the place, been translated into many languages. It kind of put Childsplay on the map, and it certainly made David a big name in our field. And this was early days. I happened to be, and I played David. I played the father in the production. And what it did for me, it made me realize how the potential that theater has to affect the lives of young people.
Yeah.
And the opportunity for young people to figure out the world and figure out their place in the world, to experience other stories, but also to see their own stories, developing empathy and creativity and the power of theater to help young people make sense of that. And the power of young people that is theirs innately, and we're helping them tap into that power. Young people are so smart. They're so capable of complex thought, complex emotions. And so often you see entertainment for children as talking down to them. And Child's Play never does. Yeah. And that experience of the Yellow Boat, and this is back in the early 90s, it just was eye-opening to me, and said, wow, this is something I want to do. And I stayed with the company. Never planned on it. I went to school for musical theater, and I was doing that, and ended up out in Phoenix just for personal reasons. Thought I was going to be here for a year.
Surprise!
Surprise!
Yeah.
Yes, 35 years later.
Most of us.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it does. It sneaks up on you. You know, as a theater kid myself who had a really, really difficult childhood, theater saved my life, and I now try to be involved with theater in some way, shape, or form, you know, as an adult for the same reason, because I think that, you know, it really is a home, a becoming for a lot of people, and I don't know where I would be without theater in my life. So I relate to that, everything you just said. And I'm curious, I'm generalizing a little bit, but you know, a lot of actors, creative people, the idea of kind of running something, running a business, gets really technical. You kind of get stuck in the weeds a lot. It doesn't allow you to be super creative. I'm curious how you made that transition and what that was like for you to go kind of from being an actor to running the whole shebang.
It's definitely a shift.
Yeah.
The administration side of things, the running the business, it can be a bit of a of a drain.
I know that face he just made. I'm like, so feel this.
The word I was going to use, I decided not to.
We're not cable news. You can say whatever you want to say.
The souls suck.
There you go. And the honesty comes out.
And but in theater, like most nonprofit theater, Childsplay is a dual leadership model where there's a managing director and an artistic director. So I'm the artistic director. I'm in charge of the vision thing and what we put on the stage and making sure that we're staying true to our mission. And then the managing director is the money guy. Steve
well, that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that person is handling the business side of things, and I'm involved. I've learned how to read a spreadsheet and all those things, but fortunately I don't have to deal too much of that. But it is a lot of people management.
Yeah.
And managing people.
Yeah.
But and thank you for that little bit of history lesson just in Child's Play. I didn't realize about the Yellow Boat. My experience with Child's Play was as a librarian. I used to work for Maricopa County.
Oh, wonderful.
And so there's already this history of taking books, bringing them to stage, and not doing the typical children's book, but going a little far-reaching and maybe putting some folks on stage that look like an audience that may not go to the theater a lot.
That's very true. And for us, certainly Tomas and the Library Lady was a show that we've done many times. Right. I've sent out on a national tour. It is for our audience, because the bulk of our audiences are schools. They're our biggest audience, both in theater when we do shows at the Herberger, that we're a resident company there. So we have field trips that come in. When we're doing a show, we do 3 public performances a week, but we do 7 field trip performances a week.
Oh, wow.
Every week. 7 field
Dwayne,
trips.
that's a lot.
It's a lot. We fill that theater twice a day with kids, and that's our prime audience. Schools are our prime audience. In addition to that, we also send shows out to schools where we send out companies in a van, and they set up in a cafetorium, or the gymnasium or wherever, and they do the show there. We also send out a national tour. We'll be going into rehearsal next week for our national tour, Maddie's Fridge. It's a wonderful story about friendship and keeping secrets, but also deals with the subject of food insecurity.
Yeah.
Based on a book by Lois Brandt.
I'm not familiar with that, but especially right now, that's such a huge issue.
Huge
across
issue.
the country.
And for kids, again, knowing that kids can handle that, knowing that kids, they know about it in their lives.
Yeah.
Right.
And so having a play that helps them to put the words to it, help them to say, yes, I have a friend who's told me something that I feel I should tell someone, but I promise not to tell.
Yeah.
And so it's a wonderful story, and it's funny, and it's about kids and friendship and family, but that's what good theater does, right? We're storytellers, and that's how we learn about the world.
Of wonderful stories and good theater, you want to share a little bit about this guy you brought in, and Edward Tulane? Yeah.
Edward Tulane, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, based on the book by Kate DiCamillo, very beloved book. About, 12, 13 years ago, I did an adaptation of the book that Childsplay commissioned and produced, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. And this is one of the dolls that we used in the story. It's a story of a China toy rabbit who thinks pretty highly of himself. And
as the spats would give away.
Exactly. He has many outfits. He's made by a Parisian doll maker. And so in the story, Edward is this doll. Edward doesn't move. Edward doesn't talk. He has thoughts. And so you hear his thoughts as an actor who plays, who kind of moves around with Edward, and you hear his thoughts. But Edward goes on this journey, not of his own planning. Things happen. And it's a journey of discovering what it is to love, what it is to be loved, and what it is to lose love and to open your heart to love again. It's a gorgeous story. And I'm so fortunate that I was able to adapt the book into a play. And so this season, I'm adapting the play into a musical with Kyle Sorrell as the composer, and he is so Childsplay has commissioned this, and we are producing it. It'll be the final show of the season in April and May, so it'll be my final show as artistic director.
So your swan song.
Yeah,
that's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm very excited about it. It's actually we use 7 different dolls in the production because he changes costumes. Okay. And so it's a little tidbit. So we're not changing those clothes in that doll right there.
Well, we've heard that it's very moving and that there's tears usually involved with this one.
Well, on a journey of discovering what love is, it can be.
And losing love.
And losing love and opening your heart to love again. I'll tell you now, it's a happy ending, but it's a very well-earned happy ending.
Aww.
Okay.
Nice. Well, I like that it challenges folks.
Yes.
I mean, and that's one of the things I love about theater, and especially I think Childsplay, does that for adults as well as youth. It's not, like you said, doesn't talk down to the youth.
That's the idea. Because who would listen to that? Kids are so smart and so perceptive. And they understand things. And if it's a concept they don't necessarily understand, they either can let it go or can talk to their adult companion after the show. We have talkbacks after every show so kids can ask questions. I'm so proud of the work that Childsplay does, and it's done. Next season will be our 50th season.
Wow.
So I got up to 49.
Okay, yeah.
And
bowing out right before the big 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can see and feel how much you truly do mean the words that you're saying about Childsplay. That's so evident, and I'm sure, again, your work is a huge part of that. And I'm curious, what's next for you? What are you leaving this huge thing for?
To not run a theater company anymore.
The soul suck part, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if you were aware, but we had this pandemic back 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And what that did for performing arts and the challenges that done performing arts organizations all across the country, all across the world. it's been a challenging 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're coming out of it, and we're doing some great stuff. I'm very proud of the work we're doing, and I'm proud of where the company is headed. And I'm ready for new adventures. I want to get back to writing more. You asked about the job. Yes, it takes away from the creative.
Yeah.
Certainly, as the artistic director, I would direct at least one show every year.
Yeah.
So I'd get that fix a little bit. But as far as writing, I haven't been able to do much writing. This is the first big project I've done since being artistic director, and it feels good, and I want to get back to that.
That's great. Well, we can't wait to see what you write and what you come up with. And I'm sure there'll be incredible partnerships in your future.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would bet on it. I'd bet on you.
Either that or I'll be a greeter at Walmart.
Well, either way, it'll be nice to see you. You sound like my mom. She like threatens that all the time. I'll just go be a greeter at Walmart. Yeah. Well, why don't you share with folks, how they can learn more about maybe the performance that you've got coming up, and also you, and support you and follow you.
Well, I don't know how you follow me, but Childsplay.
By stalking.
You can always go to childsplayaz.org and Childsplayaz. It's all the social media things, and you can find me, Dwayne Hartford. I'm around.
I really like this guy. When is Edward Tulane? When is that musical?
It opens on April 25th.
Oh, we've got time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have coming up, our first show of the season is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which will be our 5th year doing it.
Fun.
It's a very fun show. We do it on the center stage. After the new year, we have The Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Hare and Tortoise, a wonderful version of the Aesop fable. And then we'll close the season with The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane, the musical.
The musical. Okay. Well, I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait. And thank you so much for sharing about your 35 years with Childsplay, and we wish you all the most success in your next endeavors.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we hope you'll check out Childsplay. They're just kicking off their season soon, it sounds like. So they've got a ton of shows to see. Great for the whole family. So come on out to a Childsplay production and keep it right here. We've got more cool things going on at the morning show.
So, Melissa, now that it's getting fall, I'm starting to put on the calendar some more tours, things like that.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Are you doing haunted tours again?
So I'll be doing some haunted tours. I think we're trying to cook up something else that'll be really interesting and no one else is doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. But whenever we do a walk downtown, we always see a lot of murals. And there's one in particular that people always ask, oh, that's a really cool mural, but who is it? And it's on the north side of the 1001 building, that building right there at North Central and Roosevelt.
Yep.
That glass building. And when they ask, it's like, well, who is it? That's what we're going to talk about today, is who is that mural?
You know what's interesting too is I never considered it a mural because it's on glass, but I guess it is.
It is. And actually, so it just celebrated 5 years.
Okay.
And so Antoinette Colley, the artist, talked about kind of how it went from a painting she had done to then basically being printed and placed on these windows.
Yeah.
And so, but the story of it's James Baldwin, and even though he's not of Phoenix and doesn't have a connection to Arizona, it was interesting to just kind of talk about a little bit about kind of what that means. First off, let's talk about just that particular corner. In the 50s, it was a gas station. Phoenix was quickly growing. Cars were king, hence by all the roads. And Central Avenue was a lifeline for people to get to downtown, as well as people that were cruising Central, just driving by in their cars. And so in 1960, the gas pumps disappeared. And architect Fred Geary designed the Coronet Hotel. Now, it was modern, it was stylish, and right in step with the optimism of the era, built for cars, as well as in 1960 for the presidential election, it became John F. Kennedy's Arizona, one of his offices. So, which is cool. By the 80s, the hotel was looking a little run down, not so modern. Phoenix was changing, and the building was stripped down to its steel frame and concrete floors, and then they wrapped it in glass. And even though that mural had not been painted yet, that building was able to watch as the cultural rebirth of Roosevelt Row, all the stuff was now happening in downtown that building got to see with its new skin.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, then the police moved in at one point. Also, Maricopa County Health moved in. And so that was kind of interesting having them both there as the community was just really developing. And then 5 years ago, Antoinette painted the mural, or painted the artwork that then became the mural that we see on that north side. Now, it really got a chance to see kind of, looking north is always that optimism, looking towards the future. And so really what I was focusing on when we talked about this was really kind of that James Baldwin was looking north. The first thing he would have noticed would have been in the early 50s, Lincoln and Eleanor Ragsdale, who were both African-American. They found a house they loved in Encanto. And they could hardly wait to move in, except they were not allowed to own homes. So they became basically activists, not because they shouted or carried a sign. A friend bought the house and then in the titling process gave it to them.
Okay.
So that way they were able to be there. They were there for over 15 years and endured harassment, graffiti, vandalism, but they broke that barrier for then other families to move into. Now also that area would have been very LGBTQ friendly. Even in the 60s, basically there was a bar there called the 307 that if you look now at 222 right in front of the Illuminate building, there is a plaque that commemorates the fact that it was an LGBTQ space from the moment it got there to also allowing a young artist, Ted DeGrazia, who was looking for a way to paint and drink, emphasis on the drink. And they said, as long as you're painting, your drinks are covered. And so the place was filled with Ted DeGrazia murals. Sadly, they were not able to save them when the building was demolished. Now, if you look just north of that 1001 building, there's a short building, and that was originally the cocktail lounge for the hotel.
Okay.
And then as the hotel started kind of going down a little bit, it changed into a variety of bars and ended up being Cruisin' Central, which was in the mid-70s, which was a very trans-friendly bar at that point. And you could only access it through the alley. Now, this is a time where the police also at one point had moved in the 90s. And so there was a big debate on terms of, were they watching with binoculars or were they just monitoring the community?
Yeah.
The harassment got so bad that the bar actually filed a formal complaint against the police for what they were doing. Also, just south of there, 60 years ago, there was the 8-Day Coffee House, and there was a night raid where 20 plus people were arrested for dancing and taken downtown, and many of those folks lost families and careers because of that.
What is this, Footloose?
So pretty much.
Weird.
Also, it's like James Baldwin is also looking north, looking at a rainbow crosswalk that is put there because that was really kind of part of the first neighborhood, as well as looking out at, what was body positive, well, actually, it started off as body positive and then eventually moved there as Southwest Center. Basically, one of the first organizations in the state to deal with HIV and AIDS.
Right.
And so now when people say, that's a cool mural, who is that? Now we have, it's James Baldwin, and you can tell him a little about who he was. A queer author that left the country, moved to Paris, but then eventually came back to make Arizona or make the U.S. a better place, and that's just what kind of happening here. So many people are moved by that. It was rated as one of the top murals in the state.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Antoinette was really gracious about kind of talking about her discovery of him, and it's kind of her discovery is she's allowing other folks to have that same discovery.
Yeah, for those that don't know Antoinette Colley, she is an incredibly talented artist here in Arizona. She is kind of right on the verge of tons of social justice issues and civic justice issues, and she is an artist to watch. So definitely check out her work and follow her journey, because she is just doing incredible things for our community through her work.
Right. So there you go. So this is one of the reasons why you should stick around, stick with the morning show, because we have more history, more local love coming up.